I was actually in BCN nightclub in Magaluf. Honestly, that's where I was when I got the call to say this deal's happening at Arsenal, you better get home. I said, can it wait till tomorrow? the phone's just come on.
It's horrible. When he left Everton, that like broke me.
15, 16-year-old playing up against Ruddock. I remember him saying to me, mate, if you don't keep still, I'm going to put you over that fence there.
You were kind of the original Everton Premier League wonder kid, weren't you? How do you look back on that whole period when you came through at Everton and making your debut?
A dream come true. Probably like Wayne, John, Graham, the whole of the family come from a massive Everton family. Joined Everton as an under 11, I think was the earliest. You look at academies now, the kids are in at 4 and 5. I don't think we could go until 11 into a school of excellence. And I had a dream of playing for Everton, and if someone had said to me when I was 10, 11, you're going to play at Goodison one day, I'd have thought they were mad. Yeah, and I managed to fulfil a lifelong dream, yeah.
Can you remember, Franny, as a young Everton fan growing up, can you remember watching him in the early days of his career?
Yeah, as I said before, he was, obviously being at Evertonian my whole life, and then when you've got someone from your area who goes and plays for the first team, it's crazy, and that gives you belief. So his dream was my dream, to go and play for Everton, and when you're seeing someone so close to you, you're same school, same area you're from, go and do it, that makes you believe a bit more that you can go and play and achieve your dreams. And so yeah, it was incredible. And then weren't just Franny as well, there was loads around about your time. Everton's academy was producing so many young players coming through. It was brilliant.
I say it now, like we're obviously you look at Everton strikers now, it's Beto and Barry. Where's the ones coming below them? Like we used to produce at Everton striker after striker after striker, and listen, not all of them went on to have careers like him, but you go back through the archives, Michael Branch, Phil Jevons, Danny Cadamatri, myself, Nick Chadwick, James Vaughan, Victor Anichibi. It's not happening anymore.
Why do you think that is, though? So what's happening then and what's not happening now?
I don't know. I'm not obviously in the academy. Are we losing them to other clubs? Is there a problem in academies that we've stopped producing strikers?
I think in the game in general, number 9s and forwards now are not as common.
When you think about it, everyone had 4 or 5 strikers.
Yeah.
Like Man United, if you were beating Man United at Old Trafford, they had 3 world-class strikers sitting on the bench you knew at on 60 minutes. See Fergie go like that, come on. and then he wouldn't take strikers off. He put 3 on. In the end, he'd end up having 5 unbelievable strikers on. I'd be like, wow. Now you don't see it. Yeah. Most people have only got 1 or 2 strikers. And it fascinates me. It fascinates me.
Yeah. I seen the other day someone talking about Ollie Watkins is not happy because Aston Villa have signed Tammy Abraham. And you're like, what, so you just want to be... I'm not saying this on Ollie Watkins, don't know how to this, but...
No, it's everywhere though,
Are you telling me that you just want to be the only striker of football?
Well, it's everywhere. It's like, and I suppose it is really difficult, right, to have, like Sir Alex did, 5 world-class strikers when every team now you watch plays 1 up front.
Yeah.
So...
But surely when you're in that position as well, though, and you're seeing kids coming up, you're probably looking at your own game going, I need to stay on top of this because that kid that's coming up, like Wayne Rooney's coming through, like I need to stay on.
That's footy, isn't it? There's always, at Everton, there was always someone coming behind you to take your spot. Yeah. So, football in general, you never rest on your laurels. You always know, and especially at Everton, by the way, there was always another striker coming behind you. So, you could never ever relax.
I want to take you back to your debut. We'll come on to your England debut in just a moment. But your debut, you were 16, right?
I was 16 at Old Trafford.
Talk me through what that was like. Paint me a picture.
It's a cracking story. I never had a mobile phone. So it's Christmas night. I'm just putting a pair of chinos on.
Where's she
Go and have a Coke in the Western. So it's Christmas night. I'm just putting my chinos on. I'm thinking, right, I'll go and have a glass of Coke in the Western before I head into town for a glass of Coke in town. And yeah, my mum shouts me or my dad. Phone's rang. It's Howard Kendall's on the phone. House phone. Thinking, what have I done? I've been off for a few days. I can't have done anything wrong. So Howard was unbelievable. So I answered the phone. I said, hello, boss. Oh, how are you, son? I said, I'm all right. Yeah, boss, I'm sound. He said, had a good Christmas. I said, yeah, just had me dinner. He said, what are you up to tonight? So I said, I'm just going to chill out with the family, and that's it. He said, he said, get yourself to Belfield. He said, Big Duncan's not well. I thought, too right, he's not well at Christmas. He's not going to be well, is he? He had the same idea as me, Dunk. So he says, get yourself, Big Dunk's gone down. We need you in the squad tomorrow. We're leaving Belfield at, I think, 8 o'clock at night, Christmas night. We're going to an hotel in Manchester. So I get there. Yeah,
Chinos off.
Chinos are off. Everton trackies on. Yeah, and no mobile phones or nothing. So I think the lads were waiting for me in the Western. You couldn't ring anyone to tell them you weren't coming. So I had to get word through a mate. Yeah. Don't be waiting there for Franny, won't be coming. So the next day, I'm on the bench. We're getting beat 2-0 at Old Trafford. And Howard says, walking back up the tunnel, Everton hadn't had a kick really. And he said to me, get yourself ready, you're going on, son. Yourself. I did. Excuse me language, but I did. I can't remember who was playing centre back, but I remember, I wasn't a big kid. I was always dead skinny and little runt. And I remember warming up, looking down at the Man United players, thinking, wow, look at the size of them. And then when he said to me, you're going on, it was like, really, you've been dreaming about this all your life. I just said to you, and then now it's like, not sure, can we wait till next week till we've got Bolton at home? So yeah, puts me on, 2-0 down. I think we end up losing the game 2-0. And yeah, as I said, a dream had come true.
Do you remember watching that game?
I can't remember, obviously the way Franny would remember it. Duncan was always my hero for everything growing up, and but then Franny was the one who I was always could picture myself in, because obviously where we're from, and so to see him play for Everton, and it was horrible when he left Everton. That broke me. Honestly, it does.
To be honest,
when he was playing, when he was a young lad, if someone was there who come to and left, it'd be exactly the same. So it was a weird feeling, but then you get when he come through and he started playing for Everton, the sense of pride you get, and the whole area, the pride you had of him playing for Everton, one of
it makes a dream
from where we're from.
Listen, we've got loads of, loads of kids now. We see, I obviously sometimes go into Crocky with John, and you see the kids there, and they'll be looking at the likes of Wayne and myself and John, and thinking that there is hope. There is hope. There is a chance. If you stick to it and you give it everything and you live every second of it, you can be the next Wayne Rooney.
Let's talk about your England debuts then, because this is quite incredible, isn't it? Really, talk us through it from your point of view, firstly, Wayne.
Yeah, I remember I was at the training ground at Belfield, and then David Moyes come out and said, you've been called up in England. Before that, we were in the 21 get-together, weren't we?
I can't remember. I mean,
remember we went to We Will Rock You.
But why were you going to We Will Rock You?
The whole team went.
He's probably asked the manager. He's probably said and We Will Rock You's on tonight. Any chance?
No, and then Moyes said to me, "You've been called up for England." So I thought it was just doing the 21s again. So then he said, "No, it's the first team." So then I was absolutely buzzing, whatever. And then obviously seeing Franny was in it as well. So for me, that was brilliant, because obviously the both of us in the England squad together for the first time. It helped me settle in. Obviously, Franny was a bit older. He was probably, as nervous as I was
Fair squad.
Going to it, but we had each other there.
I can remember Arsene Wenger, we were playing away somewhere and I couldn't get a game at Arsenal. So if you're not getting a game with your club team, you got no chance of being in an England squad. But I think my call-up came off the back of me scoring most times I got together with the under-21s. So it was sort of, people knew, I was sitting behind, obviously, probably four of the best strikers in the Premier League at the time. I'm sure we will come on to it, but I remember thinking I'm nowhere near, I'll never ever get an England call-up because you've got to be playing regularly, to warrant that. So mine was a bit different. I was shocked. And then I think obviously you get an email or you get the squad comes up somewhere on Sky and seeing his name there as well just brought a little smile to my face because like it must have to a lot of people in Crocky in our area, I can't see there being many areas in the world, in England, that have produced two lads who go on to make, the debut for the country together. That's a special moment. That's something that...
The Western must have been buzzing that day.
The Western, unbelievable, yeah.
They were all there, weren't they? All went on coaches, didn't they? Everyone from Crocky went to the game on coaches, yeah.
It never closes anyway, the Western, but it definitely wouldn't have closed that night.
But no, it was good because Sven, we knew we were going on to be at half time, so we knew we were both going on up front together at half time. He's changing the whole 11. Yeah. And then we go on. We drew our half, didn't we?
I think
the starting 11 lost 2-0. We drew our half 1-1.
The big hitters, Becks and all that, they were getting beaten. I think we drew 1-1.
Yeah. You scored as well, didn't you?
I did score, yeah, I did. It was a real nice moment, but never seen again.
But at least
listen, it's something, obviously, I get it now off my little lad. He's 11, obsessed with football. He's in Liverpool's academy. He's playing for them, and try and give him a bit of advice, and he'll just come back with, "You only got one cap for England." I'm like, do you realise how proud I'd be if you actually ever pull the England shirt on? It's like, what, one cap? Yeah, and you didn't even start, he said to me. No mention of the goal. You didn't even start either when he brought you on because you were getting beat.
How are you feeling about him being in the Liverpool academy as well?
It is what it is, isn't it? He was in training with Everton for a bit, and football's about opinions. Liverpool quickly moved, and he's over there, and he loves it there.
Similar to his dad?
He has got traits, yeah. He's doing all right. Spends a bit too much time on his mobile phone for me. Like as I said, when I got my first call up to Everton's first team, we didn't have a mobile phone. I was 16 at the time, and he's only 11. But yeah, I suppose that's the way of the world now, isn't it?
You mentioned Arsenal, and Wayne's mentioned how it broke his heart the day you left Everton. But talk us through that move when you heard about it and the excitement that must have come with it.
I've got some unbelievable stories. I did have a mobile phone. Now, I was actually in BCM nightclub in Magaluf.
I've been there.
Honestly, that's where I was when I got the call to say this deal's happening at Arsenal. You better get home. I said, can it wait till tomorrow? the phone's just come on. No, listen, it had been muted, and it was tough because I'm a massive Evertonian. I just am, like him. We're Everton people. Our families are Everton people. We love Everton, but at the time, it needed money. Every summer there was a sale or two, and yeah, it happened to be me, Michael Ball, and Richard Dunn. I think 3 younger boys who'd come through the academy who were probably the most saleable assets there, and the club needed money, to stay afloat, and it was just the way it was. And I tried to agree a new deal with Everton, and I think they knew as well that they're probably going to have to cash in. And if I was going to leave Everton, I wasn't going to anyone no disrespect, mediocre. I wanted to go and play for the best. If it wasn't Man United or Arsenal, I was probably going to stay at Everton. And I told the club that I wasn't, I felt like I was at a stage in my career where if I was leaving my boyhood club and the place where I wanted to be, and I did want to be at Everton, then I was only leaving for the best. So it was either going to be Arsenal or Man United. And
did you speak to Wenger on the phone? Or was it?
I can't quite remember because I was in BCM. So.
Had you had a few drinks?
No, I had a few
Coke.
Thanks.
And anyway, I flew home the next day.
Begrudgingly.
Really, yeah, bit hungover.
Do you know what though? It's so hard when I left Everton to go United. You don't realise how tough it is because
it's unbelievable.
Everyone around you, your family, your mates, the area you're from, it's because it's like their dream is to play for Everton, and then you've got it there and you're leaving. So it's so difficult when you're leaving. There's obviously circumstances. Franny and myself both left, but it's so tough to leave.
So I goes and meets David Dean and Arsene Wenger. And the deal's quickly done, and I'm an Arsenal player.
Is that a bit surreal? Being so intrinsically linked to Everton.
It was tough. I remember being in the car with my mum and dad leaving Highbury, and real like how can I put it? Happiness, but also a lot of sadness.
Mixed emotions.
Yeah, like. That Everton badge, that meant so much to me. I wasn't wearing that anymore. I was now an Arsenal player. And do you know what I found really tough? It was the stick that I got. Like I found my own people, your own people, that loved you yesterday. Now hated you. And hate's a strong word. Probably now disliked you or didn't like what you'd done. But listen, it wasn't solely my decision to leave Everton Football Club. Do
you regret it?
I do a little bit. I do. I think it killed my career. I do. I had to back myself, and I did.
You would have always wondered, wouldn't you? If you hadn't gone, would you have always wondered?
But I wanted to back myself, and I wanted to go and play for.
It's tough to turn down.
It is tough to turn. I just watched Arsenal. Well. I just watched Arsenal. If I'm right. Lose to Liverpool in the cup final, Michael Owen, and do you remember they murdered Liverpool?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
And Michael missed loads of chances.
Michael scored 2 on the break like he could, and Arsenal battered them, and the deal was close to being done. Then I remember thinking, wow, you'll get some chances in that team, but I forgot that Bergkamp, Henry, Carnu, and Wiltord were all thinking the same, and I went in there as a young, I think it was 19 I was, with big shoulders, having myself thinking, I'll get someone out the team.
So when you went into the training ground and you see all of them lot, did it just dawn on you like how good they were and stuff?
Well,
or were you still
there's levels to football, there is, I'm sure Wayne would have felt it at Man United, there is levels, so you quickly realise the levels have gone up. That's, no disrespect to any Everton player that I was training with or playing with at the time. They weren't Thierry Henry and they weren't Dennis Bergkamp. They weren't Carnu's, Wiltord's, and then you work your way back, you're into Vieira's, Gilberto Silva's, and they're all superstars. It was a team of superstars, and then you go back to Tony Adams, Lee Dixon. It was just unbelievable that the levels had gone up. But I believed in myself, and I thought I'll get in the team.
Even when you were in training and stuff, and you
think, it's. You do. If you haven't got that self-belief, if you don't believe in yourself, then who's going to believe in you? So, going back to it, it was a tough time, tough moment to leave Everton. But as I say to you, it wasn't solely a Franny Jeffers decision to leave Everton.
Did you move back down there by yourself as well, or did your family?
Yeah, no, I went down there on my own, which was tough. But listen, there's no excuses. The bottom line of it is, right, I wasn't good enough to get in the team. You can go over whatever you want, right? And I don't think there's no shame in saying them 4 strikers.
Yeah.
Listen, it was mostly Thierry and Dennis that played. You know, Carnu, Will Todd, myself. You know, sometimes Sylvan would play off the right or the left.
They'd have probably walked into most teams in Europe at the time, those two.
Yeah, that was them at the best as well.
Yeah. And
some team then.
I got down there and sat on the bench the first season, won the double. You know, so I think I was proved right in saying I wanted to go and join the best team. They were by far the best team that season.
Did you feel part of the squad? So when you obviously you got a medal and stuff.
Yeah, listen, I was number 9 at Arsenal. Iconic number, and you know, as mad as it sounds, Dennis Bergkamp was number 10. So I had 3 years of sitting next to Dennis Bergkamp in the changing room, talking football, talking life.
Tell that to your son.
He'd probably say to me, "Who's Dennis Bergkamp?"
There is that.
Was he the first Scouser to win the Premier League?
Well,
or was there one before?
I think there must have been, mustn't it? I mean, I never got a medal, and that was another disappointing, because I think now you maybe need 4 appearances. Is it
5? I think
5,
it is, yeah.
right?
Something
So
like
I think
that,
that back then you needed
10.
10. So that killed me, because I think
You know when it's getting closer to the end of the season, were you ever just
but there
looking
was
at
too many.
Arsenal going,
There was too many. Honestly, there was too many. I remember the wind-up. I'm almost certain Martin Keown needed an appearance with like 2 games to go. And you know what Ray Parlour was like for winding people up. So like Ray knew, and Martin was angry when Martin would be like, I need an appearance to get my medal. So I remember, I think it was, honestly, there was 2 games left and Martin needed an appearance, and Arsenal, they'd always have Arsenal in on like the jokes, and Ray'd say, Gaffer, you've got to wind them up, you've got to wind Martin up. So I think he'd put 2 subs on, you only allowed 3 then. And Martin was out warming up, and he would be warming up. I can't remember who he was warming up with, but Arsenal would come out and wave the other person back, and it was the last sub. And you could see Martin like that. He come running back towards the bench, like, and you could see Wenger laughing his head off, do you know what I mean? But Ray Parlour would have him in on the wind-up, and I'm sure you've heard the stories about like them winding Martin Keown up at the changing rooms, but there was too many, like going back to it, there was probably too many who needed only 3 subs.
Sure, yeah.
There was too many who needed two appearances or something to get that medal, so look, it wasn't.
But you'd still be there like trying to get his attention.
You know what, I think it's poor me. I think if you play a game in the Premier League, you've contributed, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think if you're available as well, if you're training every day with the team, you're helping the team. And if you're available, and whether the manager picks you or not, that's not
You're
yours.
pushing the other players. I just wanted to talk to you about life post-Arsenal then, because you went on to play, I think, for about 10 different clubs, and it took you around the world.
Tiger Woods in the end, didn't I?
It took you around the world as well, didn't it? Australia,
Yeah.
Malta.
So I went back. I went from Arsenal back to Everton on loan, and once again you go on about world class. Then I had this fella in my way then, didn't I? So I'd gone from Bergkamp, Henry, Will Todd, Carnu, all of this.
Thinking you're going to be in the team, and then
think, the dream of playing with him. By the way, that's why I went back to Everton, because they always say you should never go back. And you know, I knew I was sort of, people probably expected me to hit the ground running, and I'll be honest, the reason I went back to Everton, I love Everton, was to play up front with him. You know, like we talk about, both from the same area, so I went back there for that, and it never quite happened. And there was other good strikers there. Once again, I go on about it. You know, everyone had 5 strikers. So even Everton strikers then. Kevin Campbell, God rest his soul. Big Dunk, Wayne, myself, Thomas Radzinski. You know, you're talking about like Everton, who were
proper men as well.
We were a bottom half team, weren't we? You know, if we punched above our weight, we could finish in the top half. If we finished probably where we should, we were bottom half. And everyone had them. Everyone had loads of strikers. And what I struggled with when I went back to Everton was I couldn't find any rhythm. I'd been at Arsenal for 2 seasons and I'd not kicked the ball. And all of a sudden, people thought they were getting the Franny Jeffers back that had left 2 seasons before. And they weren't, because...
So is it match fitness, or is it reaction times and stuff?
It's everything, isn't it? Yeah. It's everything. It's your brain, it's your feet. You know, it's like you're out injured for 6 months. You come back, you might get through the first couple on adrenaline, but ultimately you need time to find your rhythm, to find your form. But ultimately, you don't get that in the Premier League, because if you haven't scored in 2, you'll probably find that there's another fella coming in, and then if he doesn't score, there's one behind him coming in. So
I think that's a lesson, right, for like young players. Probably try at that stage of your development, 19 to 21 or whatever it is. Yeah. Just getting game time is probably the best thing.
It's the most important thing in the world, is that you get your football. Training, forget it. Yeah, okay, training's very, very important. Saturday at 3 o'clock, Tuesday at 8 o'clock, nothing beats it. And if you lose that, you lose rhythm, you can find that your career can dip very, very fast, and it's really, really hard to drag yourself back.
That's where, if you look at like Harry Kane, when he goes out on loan, David Beckham, players at a similar age when you went to Arsenal, have gone out on loan to lower league teams to get the game time. So because you've been signed by Arsenal, you're missing out on that game time, where really, if they weren't playing you, maybe they should have said, right, signed you and said, stay at Everton.
And you know what? I genuinely think, right, Arsenal had signed me to be around for a couple of years, to be a bit part player. But I'd never been told that. And I suppose it's really difficult, because if you've played 60 games for Everton by the age of 19, and a club come for you in Arsenal, and the manager, you go and meet him and he says, have a guess what? You're probably not going to play that much. I'm going to say, have a guess what? I'm probably not going to sign. You know,
of course,
and that's the brutal reality of it. So it wasn't ever explained to me, but really, was I advised right? You know, you're looking for someone to advise you correctly and say, hey, listen, you might want to have another couple of seasons at Everton. Or, you know, I know I did say if I was going to leave Everton, I wanted to go to the best, but Fran, you know, I don't mean to put you down here, but you're gonna have to hit the ground running to get Henry and Bergkamp out of the team. And I think the most important time of your career is at a young age is to get football, whatever level. You know, not sit on the bench.
Men's football as well.
Men's football is important, isn't it? It's, you know, you look at the amount of lads now that go out on loan. I mean, we've had lads that have come to Macclesfield from good clubs, and probably been playing under 21 football for a long time. It's a different sport. Yeah.
Under 21 now, so when it used to be reserve, I remember playing for the Everton reserves against United, and the 2 centre-backs for United that day was David May and Guy Neville. So if you didn't play in the first team, you played in the reserves. Yeah. Where now under 21 football is probably 17 to 19-year-olds. So it's still a development. That's what it is. It's not. There's no men in them games.
Yeah, I think
where it used to be in the reserves.
So you're not getting that physicality or the sort of pace that you would do in a men's game.
I played for Everton playing up front with Kevin Campbell. Everton reserves.
Yeah.
I was Kev spoke about that.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, so
that doesn't happen no more.
So even the academies now, the under-18s, there was no under-18s. So you would have a first year scholars, we call them YTSs, first year YTS or a second year YTS, and you had an A and a B team. And it didn't matter your age, whether you were a first year or a second year. You wanted to be in the A team, and you had to fight to get in the A team. And I quickly got myself into the A team, probably before lads who were 2 years older than me, and that was just the way it went. You were judged on your ability, not on your age. And then in them A team games, we'd often play Liverpool. Neil Ruddock would play. Honestly, I remember a game in the A team. Neil Ruddock, Jamie Redknapp, both coming to Belfield on the way back from injury to play Everton v Liverpool in an A team game. And like the experience that gave me as a 16-year-old, 15, 16-year-old playing up against Ruddock. And I remember him saying to me, mate, if you don't keep still, I'm going to put you over that fence there. I was like...
And he probably meant it as well.
No, he did, yeah. He was like, what do you mean? It's like, mate, if you run into that channel again, next time you go in there, I'm going to put you right over that fence there. It's like, all right, sound. Sorry, Neil.
Cheers, Razor.
I think that's probably quite a good place to leave it, isn't it? There's many more stories. I'm sure we could sit here all day talking. Franny, it's been so good to have you on the show, to hear a little bit more about the dynamics with Wayne as well.
No, listen, thank you. I love it. And it's great being back with him. And yourself.
And him.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, a reminder that we'll be back again on Monday. You can listen to The Wayne Rooney Show on BBC Sounds, or you can watch on the iPlayer or on the BBC Sport YouTube page. See you next time.